Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you another Death Note review today. I'm here to give you another one. I think it's been about a week since I've done it, so it hasn't really been that long. I think it's been about a week. And I'm here to give you another Death Note review. So let's kick it off. So, one thing about Death Note, I know it's random, but I love listening to L's theme song, or Ryozaki's, or whatever you want to call him. I love listening to his theme song. I'll sometimes be doing something like playing video games or other things like that, and I'll just play his theme song in the background because it's just fucking awesome. Um, I just love it. You should totally check it out. But let's get to this episode. This is, I believe, Season 1, Episode 10. It's called Doubt, and it came out in Japan. I believe it's in Japan. Let me check. Yeah. In Japan, let me just find. It came out on December 5th, 2006. And in English, in the United States of America, it came out on December 22nd, 2007. So about a year difference there. That's about right. And this episode was awesome. It's called Doubt. I don't know if I said that. And it kicks right off. You see, you know, Ryozaki L, or his name that he's using with Light is Ryuga. L challenges Light to a tennis match. I don't know, or a game. I don't know what they call it. I think they call it a tennis match, but I think I'm thinking of something different. Light just asking him why he wants to do that. He says this will help him build a friendship, and we find out that Ryozaki was like a tennis champion in England, and Light asks him, because of his accent, if he was if he's from England, but he thought it would be too obvious because he thought that would be a question that Kyo would ask. But he said he's just going to take the chance, and he pretty much says that he was born and raised in England. And they have the tennis match, and everybody's buzzing in about it. They're talking about how Light, when he was in high school, when he was in middle school, used to be like a tennis champion, but he hung up, I guess, his rack, they called it, and never played again. So this is the first time he's actually played, and they're constantly thinking to himself that L is using this to try to build a relationship with Light, so that way he can get him to reveal some stuff about Kira, and he can get to know whether or not he's Kira. And Light, knows this. That's what L was thinking. And this whole scene was awesome. I can't even describe it just because of how awesome it was. So they pretty much know that they're both onto something. Light knows that L wants to get information on him, and L wants to get that information on him, but he knows that Light's not just going to openly say he's Kira, obviously. So he's trying to do things to make it look like that Light is Kira. L thinks that if Light loses, and he knows that Kira hates to lose, that he's gonna see what happens if Light loses and how he reacts and all that stuff. And Light just thinks about having him just openly just lose on purpose, but he says that it would make it look too obvious that he is Kira. And he says that he just has to, and he says that he doesn't want to, he wants to put up a good fight and all that stuff. So it was just really awesome stuff. The music they were playing, it was just really intense. They were pretty much both trying to find out from each other that they were, to try to get the information on the Kira case. And eventually Light ends up winning. But it was I guess it looked like it was a really good game, but it wasn't really the game. It was what was going on in the hits. Then they go to the car, and then Light and Ryuga are talking. Well, L, I'm just gonna call him whatever's. And no, that's not what happens next. Next, what happens is the chief is talking, I guess, with his boss. I don't really know what he is. I guess the man in charge, and he wants to find out about the Kyoto case, but he says that he can't reveal anything, and he asks if Ryozaki can be trusted, and the chief says that he can be trusted, and he talks about how he goes off on the chief saying that everybody just walked out on this case, but there were people that are willing to put their lives on the ice to finally catch Kira and not have a murderer out there. So I really liked that there. It was really intense. And then Light and Ryuga are talking, and Light asks him, like, what wants to ask him some questions, and Ryuga openly just tells him that he has like a 1% suspicion that he could be Kira, which it just makes it, because it's just something that you wouldn't expect him to say, because you would think that would be an idiotic thing to say, but it's actually kind of smart because it's gonna throw Light off for his next move action. And Light wasn't expecting this. He actually pauses and he says, "Well, I'm not Kira. There's no chance that I could be Kira." And then Light wants to ask Ryuga some questions, and they go to his favorite coffee shop, and we find out why I don't know if you ever noticed. I've actually noticed this. Why L sits. I can't really do it because of the chair that I'm in, but he'll like sit with both feet on the chair, and he kind of goes like this. Because it says he has to do that because it makes him feel smarter. I think he says if his detective goes down, decreases by a good 40%. So he feels like he has to do it. It helps him think more, which I wonder if it does. Light asks him with like some questions about the Kieta case, and L shows Light some those notes. He wants to test Light. I forget what they call it, his thinking or something. And he shows him like those notes that Light did when he was killing off those prisoners before. And he says that this is just to test me. How could he not see what's going on with this? Because he wants to know like if this is like a message or something. He wants Light to dictate it. And he talks about how there's like some short dates on these things that if you put them in a certain order, they're going to read a message to L. And then he says that it's like written on the message, and he tells him about this, and he says that it says that I forget what he said, but did you know, L, that the gods of war love apples? And that he tells him that, and then L says, "You won, because you should have noticed a third one." Because he only showed him the 3, but he actually showed him a 4th one. There was actually a 4th one, but there actually wasn't a 3rd one because Light didn't write a 3rd one. But L was doing this to see how Light would react, like how Kira would react, because I bet he was expecting like Kira to be like, "There wasn't 4th one. I didn't put 4th one." But then and Light was even thinking this, but so Light realizes what was going on, and Light just kind of shakes it off, saying, "You got me there." And he even does, but he does kind of react a little bit by saying, "You only gave me 3 to work with. How was I supposed to know there was supposed to be a 4th one?" Then what happens next? He asks, and Light even asks if he can be a part of the Kira case because he wants to catch Kira, but obviously L doesn't know L doesn't fully know he's Kira yet. He suspects Light is Kira, but he doesn't actually know it. And he asks if he can, because he asks if he can work with the task I think they call it, I forget what they call it, the tax people. He knows that he's working with his father, so he brings that up, but L never brought it up. L never mentioned that he is working with his father, so that brought him his suspicion. Then and then they both get a phone call, and they both get the same phone call. Well, they find out that the chief ended up having a heart attack, and I was shocked because I thought somebody got the hold of the death note and wrote the chief's name in it or something. But what actually happened was it was all the stress with the Kira case, which is understandable because it seemed like he was under a lot of stress, and that's what caused the heart attack. But he's gonna be fine. And Elle and Light are both there, and Elle, tells him everything that's been going on, how he knows Light and everything, and the chief tells Light that Elle is Ryozaki. Like, he tells him his actual name, and Light gets happy about this. So this gives him a chance to eliminate Elle and take out the all of the guys working on the case. But it's not going to be that simple because he doesn't really know. We technically still don't know Elle's name. He's given us a lot of names. We technically really don't know his name, so it wouldn't work. And another thing is that it'd be too obvious because what a coincidence that Light just finds out Ryozaki's real name, and then he just instantly eliminates him. That would make Light look really suspicious. So then Light wants to help with the case. He really wants to take down Kira, and he said that he plumped them, but alright, so then Light I just lost my train of thought. Light lost, so so they said Light lost the stuff. So Light wants to work on the case because he said he promised that if anything ever happened to his father, he would work on the case, and the chief tells him to hold off because he wants him to finish his school and study to become a police officer, and then you can work with this. But he says, who knows how long that's going to take? The Kira case could get worse. So Elle's thinking that it could be all like a setup. Like, he says he could legit want to help take down the case, but he could be setting him up. But he says that if that's what's happening, then it's just way too cheesy. But now he's grown his suspicion. Now it's up to 7% suspicious. So then outside, Light and the chief even mentions that whoever holds the death note, but they didn't really say the death note because they don't know about it. But whoever his Kira has is somewhat cursed. So, because that's going to get brought up a little bit later on in this episode. So, Light wants to prove to Ryozaki that he's not Kira. He wants a way to prove it. So the way he comes up is just to lock him up for a month with no TV, no radio, and it will prove that he isn't Kira. But Elle doesn't want to do that because he finds it suspicious that he's putting this up, and he can't deprive Light of his human rights and needs. And he says that he never takes advice from his suspects anyways. So then Elle leaves, and Light tells Ryuk that he doesn't feel cursed with the death note. He feels like he can make the world a better place. And Ryuk says that you still have a misfortune with the death note, and he says that I'm going to make it different from everybody else that's had the death note. And then back at a TV studio, I guess it's like the news or something, they want to get more information about the Kira case, but the police isn't telling them anything, and they want to get ratings, and just mentioning Kira's name isn't going to help. So what happened is somebody comes in with tapes, and it's a message from Kira. He says, if you don't, and he's threatening to play these tapes on the episodes, or she's going to kill off every member of the on that TV show, like all the producers, and everything like that, one by one. And then after this, the guy starts having an evil laugh, and he says, "This is great. It's making me feel like I have to have a heart attack right now." So I wonder what's on those tapes. We're probably going to find out in the next episode, which I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to see what's on these tapes. Um, but other than that, this episode was really good. It's hard to explain, kind of, because a lot happened in this episode. It was a lot. It wasn't like confusing to an extent, but it's hard to explain. You kind of have to see this episode to really know what happened, because it was a lot of stuff. I'm really liking this interaction with Elle and Light right now. That's really cool, and I they always leave you with a foreshadowing. And what I like about Death Note, as I talked about this before, it moves in a really fast pace. The episode, I think it says it's like 30 minutes, but it feels like it's like 5 minutes because it moves at a really fast pace and it's really good. So I really am enjoying Death Note so far, and I'm just enjoying, like, it's a detective show pretty much. And I'm really enjoying Death Note. One thing that happened in this episode is Light does understand why he is a suspect, because he was one of the guys that Wei Pembo was like spying on him with all that stuff. So he understands that. But Death Note's really good. I totally would recommend it. I'm only 10 episodes in, and it's actually really good. It's really good. I heard there's like a manga or manga. I don't know how you actually say that word, that you can read. And I really would like to do that. Maybe read them and give my thoughts on it on this channel. Because Death Note is a really good series to check out. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to subscribe to my other channels, Wrestling Fortune 44 or On the Talkinator, you can feel free to do that. You can check out my friend James the He-Man Heber's channels, James Hebert and Wayne with Youth Wrestling's over here. And that's about it, guys. And until then, you can subscribe down below if you want to get other content on this channel. That's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.